Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Dishwasher. In the previous episode, we mentioned that CP9 captured Robin in Water 7 and took her to Enies Lobby. Luffy and the others planned a rescue operation and pursued them. In Enies Lobby, Spandam, the new leader of CP9, was spotted by Lucci, along with other members like Wolfman Jabra, Owl Fukaru, and Komadori. Califa and Kaku also consumed the giraffe fruit and the bubble fruit, respectively. Meanwhile, the Straw Hat crew arrived at Enies Lobby as well. Luffy took the lead and incapacitated the Marines with a single punch. He quickly defeated the station guard. Frankie's family, working together with the shipwrights, managed to defeat the giant guards. Usopp discovered that two giants, Dory and Broggy's friends, were among the guards. He exposed the world government's lies about the giants, leading them to surrender to him. On the other side, Spandam decided to imprison Frankie in the underwater prison, while Robin was to be escorted to Marine headquarters through the Gates of Justice. At the same time, Luffy reached the gates of the courthouse and encountered Blueno. They immediately engaged in a fierce battle. Luffy used his spiral rubber fist to inflict severe damage on Blueno, who defended himself with iron body strength. Then, Luffy unleashed his new ability. Gear Second is a unique power of the Gum fruit. By inflating his legs and accelerating blood circulation, Luffy can unleash even greater speed and strength. However, this power comes with significant energy consumption and affects his lifespan. With second gear, Luffy easily defeated Blueno. The rest of the Straw Hat crew also stormed into the courthouse. At that moment, Luffy called out to Robin with determination. Just then, Robin and Frankie heard Luffy's voice. Frankie used his posterior to propel Robin, executing the butt coup de bout, breaking through the blockade and arriving at the balcony. At that moment, Robin saw the Straw Hat crew in the distance and couldn't help but shed tears. It was clear that Luffy and the others, through their actions, silently conveyed the message, never give up on comrades, even if it means facing the entire world as enemies. 20 years ago, Robin grew up in the archaeological holy land of O'Hara in the West Blue. Since childhood, she had consumed the Hana fruit, leading to people's disdain towards her. Even her adoptive aunt used her only for labor. Only the archaeologists at the school saw Robin differently. They recognized her as an archaeologist at the age of 8 after passing the doctoral exam. In fact, the scholars in O'Hara were fond of researching the blank 100-year history before the establishment of the world government. At that time, the world had a unified nation, but it was destroyed by the world government. In order to pass down their beliefs, the country recorded its history on ores, an act considered taboo by the world government. The scholars were prepared to face death for their pursuit of knowledge. Later, Robin also encountered the giant, Saul. He was once a vice admiral in the Navy but was dissatisfied with the world government's actions. He came to O'Hara to teach Robin. Under Saul's guidance, Robin learned to face life with a smile. However, good times did not last long as the world government planned to eradicate the scholars on the island. Robin's mother, who was also a fugitive wanted by the government, arrived at O'Hara. She was prepared to bear the sin alone and couldn't even reveal her identity to her daughter to avoid implicating her. Meanwhile, the world government was ready to wipe out the entire O'Hara clan as a warning to the world. The then responsible person, Spandine, even initiated the Buster Call. In the midst of the battle, Robin asked her mother if she was indeed her mother. Upon hearing this, her mother couldn't answer, and she also couldn't answer. However, Robin repeatedly asked, and her mother could no longer hide the truth. They recognized each other amidst the chaos of war, with tearful eyes and joyful smiles. Then, Saul helped Robin escape, and her mother encouraged her with all her strength. Only Robin was saved by Saul, but the giant himself was completely frozen by Kazan. Upon parting, Saul told Robin, "You will surely encounter true companions, and you must face life with a smile." Finally, Kazan spared Robin's life. From then on, young Robin bore countless hardships on her tender shoulders. Now, from childhood to adulthood, she always saw herself as the sinful Robin. At this moment, she has finally met companions who acknowledge her existence and purpose. Thus, she does not wish to involve everyone. Perhaps quietly dying would be enough for her. However, Luffy is willing to stand against the world for her. He orders Usopp to shoot through the world government's flag, challenging the world. Then, he shouts from a distance to Robin. At this moment, Robin can no longer bear it. With tears in her eyes, she says to Luffy, Upon hearing Robin's wish, Luffy clenched his fists, his intense determination rising. Meanwhile, Franky publicly revealed the blueprint of Pluton and burned it. Spandam, infuriated by the destruction of years of hard work, sent Franky plummeting into the abyss. Subsequently he took Robin, wielding a sword empowered by the elephant fruit, and proceeded toward the gates of justice. Later, with Kokoro's assistance, the Straw Hat crew rescued Franky and infiltrated the Tower of Justice guarded by CP9. The Straw Hat crew and CP9 engaged in intense battles to secure the keys that would free Robin. Amidst the chaos, humor intertwined with tension. For example, Zoro and Usopp were shackled together and confronted Kaku and Jabra. Usopp transformed into the Supreme Great Cleaver, the Zoro's best weapon. Meanwhile, Sanji, guided by chivalry, refused to harm Califa in any way. Following various twists and turns, Franky confronted Fukaru, the owl. After replenishing his energy with cola, Franky unleashed the Cola Cannon coup de bout, successfully defeating Fukaru. At the same time, Chopper faced Komodori, who could manipulate body parts with his life return ability, causing certain body parts to grow by injecting consciousness, like hair. Initially, Chopper was no match for Komodori, but to save his comrades, he consumed a third Rumble Ball. Subsequently, Chopper lost consciousness and transformed into a massive, uncontrollable form, easily overpowering Komodori and causing chaos on the battlefield. Fortunately, Franky managed to stop Chopper's rampage by forcing him into the sea. On the other side, Nami confronted Califa, the user of the Bubble fruit. Califa could immobilize people with bubbles, rendering them smooth and helpless. However, Nami cleverly used water to counter the bubbles, freeing herself, and then used Fata Morgana to defeat Califa. Afterward, Nami gently opened Califa's coat and retrieved the key to Zoro's handcuffs. Meanwhile, Luffy continued his relentless pursuit of Robin. Seeing this, Spandam sent Lucci to intercept him, and they engaged in a fierce clash once more. In his panic, Spandam mistakenly activated the Buster Call, targeting Enies Lobby. Upon realizing this, the Marines on Enies Lobby began to evacuate. Franky's family and the shipwrights left in advance to avoid getting caught in the trouble. At this point, only the Straw Hat crew and a few CP9 members remained on Enies Lobby. In the midst of the battle, Nami successfully used the key to unlock Zoro and Usopp's handcuffs. Consequently, Zoro faced off against Kaku, while Usopp confronted Jabra. Just as Usopp was about to retrieve the key, Jabra launched a surprise attack, inflicting severe injuries on Usopp and almost ending his life. At a critical moment, Sanji appeared and rescued Usopp. He confronted Gaburi, a devious opponent with the ability of the Mut Fruit Wolf model. However, Sanji saw through his opponent's tricks and unleashed his new technique, Diable Jam. With a single flambeade shot, Sanji successfully defeated Gaburi. Meanwhile, Zoro found himself in a fierce duel with Kaku. Whether using his one-sword style or two-sword style, Zoro struggled to break through Kaku's defense. Kaku's counterattack caused severe wounds and profuse bleeding in Zoro. At this moment, Zoro thought of Robin and emitted a purple flame demon aura around his body. Witnessing this, Kaku decided to employ his ultimate move, Amain Dachi, to put an end to the battle once and for all. However, Zoro was not willing to back down and transformed into Azura, unleashing the fearsome ghastly nine-sword style. With these words, Zoro's sword aura struck down Kaku. CP9, except for Lucci, was defeated. On the other side, Luffy's life-and-death battle with Lucci continued. After activating his second gear form, Luffy finally gained the upper hand. Meanwhile, Franky managed to break through Lucci's blockade just in time. Simultaneously, Spandam was taking Robin towards the gates of justice, where senior Navy officers awaited to capture her. However, Usopp, now transformed into the Sniper King, appeared from a distance and fired sniper shots at Spandam and the Navy, with Franky providing backup. They successfully rescued Robin, and together, they confronted Spandam. At that moment, Usopp heard a mysterious call. At this moment, the Navy warship had arrived at Enies Lobby, and the Buster Call was officially initiated. Witnessing this, the Straw Hat crew hurriedly gathered for an urgent reunion. The entire process was chaotic, and Kokoro even revealed her true mermaid form, providing everyone with a fascinating spectacle. Meanwhile, Luffy and Lucci's intense battle raged on without pause. It was a true martial showdown, with no room for deception or shortcuts. Initially, relying on his second gear transformation, Luffy had the strength to challenge Lucci. However, once his gear second transformation wore off, Lucci completely overwhelmed him. In a critical moment, Luffy decided to unleash another powerful move. Unfazed, Lucci employed his iron body defense against Luffy's attacks. With a powerful punch from Luffy, Lucci was sent flying out of the tower. Almost losing consciousness, he barely managed to land on the Navy warship. In that moment, upon seeing Lucci, the Vice Admiral revealed Lucci's dark past. Many years ago, Lucci was a government agent who killed 500 civilian hostages along with the pirates he was pursuing. This cold-blooded act shaped him into a true killing machine. As Luffy caught up to the naval ship and attacked, he found that his third gear's attack power was formidable but also slow. Taking advantage of this, Lucci bit and injured Luffy, who then seemed to deflate and drifted into the Tower of Justice. The side effect of the third gear was temporarily shrinking his body. Without hesitation, Lucci brutally beat Luffy while he was in the deflated state. Fortunately, the side effect quickly wore off, and Luffy returned to his normal size. Encouraged by Franky's words of support, Luffy unleashed his second gear again, vowing not to undo it until he defeated Lucci. On the other side, the rest of the Straw Hat crew completed their reunion, and the Navy dispatched a contingent of field officers to capture Robin. In response, the Straw Hats engaged in a fierce battle with the battalion. During the fight, Zoro's Yubashiri was corroded and vanished by an opponent with the Rust fruit. However, the contingent wasn't too formidable, and the Straw Hat crew managed to hold their ground. Meanwhile, Luffy continued to fight Lucci relentlessly. The latter found an opportunity and used his most potent Rokushiki technique, Rokugan. The tremendous impact caused Luffy to cough up blood, but he refused to fall and continued to fiercely confront Lucci. After a prolonged battle, both sides had pushed their bodies to their limits, yet their fighting spirit reached its peak. Suddenly, Lucci utilized his speed to evade Luffy's attack and followed up with another devastating Rokugan. After enduring two consecutive devastating Rokugan attacks, Luffy could no longer maintain his stance. He trembled and collapsed to the ground, nearly losing consciousness. At that moment, Usopp, observing the situation from a distance, removed his Sogeking mask and rushed to the bridge, calling out to Luffy. Upon hearing Usopp's voice, Luffy rallied once more, even surprising Lucci. Usopp continued to encourage Luffy. With unwavering determination, Luffy engaged in another intense battle with Lucci. Both fighters unleashed their most powerful forms, Second Gear and Beast Man. The roars from their fierce combat even caused the entire Enies Lobby to tremble. Then Lucci attempted to ambush Luffy with Leopard Tail. He wanted to use his most potent move, Rokugan, and had already clenched his fists, securing victory. Lucci prepared to leave the battlefield with big strides, but at the last moment, Luffy, who seemed about to fall, refused to give in. In his eyes, shone the unwavering belief in victory for his comrades. His formidable will even intimidated Lucci. Luffy decided to give it his all and face Lucci one last time. And so, Luffy emerged victorious, defeating the strongest CP9 member, Rob Lucci. All the people force was left in awe by the outcome. After the battle, Luffy called out to Robin. However, the danger was far from over. The Buster Call's bombardment persisted, and the flames threatened to consume them all. At that critical moment, Usopp heard a mysterious voice, followed by the rest of the crew hearing the same call. Usopp commanded his comrades. Despite their confusion, Usopp reassured them. Immediately, all the Straw Hat members leaped into the sea from the platform. Thanks to Robin's ability, Luffy was also rescued. As it turned out, the Going Merry came to their rescue, driven by the spirit of the ship. The Going Merry, alone and braving the violent storms, came to save them all. With the help of the Going Merry, the Straw Hat crew eluded the Navy's pursuit. Robin also used her ability to break Spandam's hold. Thus, the fierce struggle on Enies Lobby came to an end. Some time later, the Straw Hat crew found themselves in a safe place. Unfortunately, the Going Merry suffered severe damage and was beyond repair. After multiple confirmations from Iceberg, Luffy made a painful decision, to bid farewell to the Going Merry. And so, the Going Merry became the first true companion to bid farewell to the Straw Hat crew. Subsequently, Franky used 200 million berries to acquire the precious jewel tree atom and personally crafted a dream ship, the Thousand Sunny. Moreover, Luffy encountered his grandfather, Vice Admiral Garp, a renowned Navy hero who also personally trained Kobe and Helmeppo. On another front, the Yonko Whitebeard and Red Hair had a formal encounter. The Haushiku haki emanating from Red Hair was beyond what ordinary pirates could withstand. During the meeting, Red Hair hoped that Whitebeard would restrain Ace from pursuing Blackbeard, given the terror of Blackbeard's power that left scars on his face. However, negotiations between the two parties eventually broke down, leading to a clash with a single slash, where the sword aura tore through the sky. Meanwhile, the world government increased the bounties of the Straw Hat crew. Luffy's bounty is 300 million berries, while Zoro stands at 120 million berries. The rest of the crew also earned a spot on the list. Among them, Sanji's portrait is particularly handsome, while Chopper's bounty is a mere 50 berries. Afterward, with the collective persuasion of everyone, Franky joined the Straw Hat crew as their 8th member. Usopp sincerely apologized to Luffy and completed his return. Thus, the Straw Hat crew set sail once again, boarding the Thousand Sunny to embark on their dream journey. Alright, that summarizes the entire plot of the Enies Lobby arc. Now, let's discuss my feelings about Water 7 and the Enies Lobby arc. This chapter can be considered the most relentless and decisive journey the Straw Hat pirates have undertaken since setting sail. Reflecting on the entirety of Enies Lobby, the Straw Hat crew achieved victory through perseverance and dignity, making it the most heart-stirring and classic battle in One Piece. The story commenced and concluded with a ship. The Going Merry accompanied the Straw Hats through the most crucial part of their journey. Then, the Thousand Sunny was born, replacing the sheep with a lion. The story also commenced and concluded with growth. Luffy attained the bearing and spirit of a captain, and Usopp experienced a rebirth, becoming the Sniper King. The story started with sacrifice and ended with rebirth. Robin, Tom, and Frankie all made sacrifices for their comrades, and subsequently, Robin found the belief to carry on, while Tom's sacrifice resulted in the finest shipwright and the greatest mayor. In my opinion, the Enies Lobby arc represents Oda's storytelling pinnacle. The oppressive atmosphere in Water 7, at times, made it difficult to endure, but the emotions erupted fully in Enies Lobby, providing a satisfying experience. This seems to echo the latest Blueno arc, where Oden's tragic past will eventually be revealed through a grand war. In the future, we will gradually catch up with the latest plot. My friends, please stay tuned. The next chapter will be even more exciting. Thank you all. Goodbye.